So we've got a report coming out from Rolling Stones that is highly critical of Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse movement. And there's nobody I can think of better to talk about that than Fatal J, one of the card-carrying members of the Snyderverse. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely well. I'm glad to be here on the Thinking Critical show with the Thinking Critical Wes.
Well, apparently they're accusing Zack Snyder of having bots working for him. Apparently there was a couple reports commissioned by Warner Media. This is what the article from Rolling Stone had to say. According to reports commissioned by Warner Media and recently obtained by Rolling Stone, at least 13% of the accounts that took part in the conversation about the Snyder Cut were deemed fake, well above the 3 to 5% that cyber experts say they typically see on any trending topic. In public filings, Twitter has estimated that the percentage of daily active accounts on its platform that are false or spam is less than 5%. So while Snyder scores authentic flesh and blood fans, those real stands were amplified by a disproportionate number of bogus accounts. It feels like they are trying to slander Zack Snyder and the fans that supported the Snyder Cut and got it put onto HBO Max.
Yes, it sounds exactly that way. And it's mighty funny that this hit piece came out right when the digital release of the Justice League, Zack Snyder Justice League, came out. They timed it just right. I notice all the time when some kind of content or something epic happens within the Snyderverse or Snyder Cut realm, it's always some kind of hit piece that comes out from these big magazines. The thing about these bots, could be not. I don't know.
I assume that there's always some bot activity associated with everything. I mean, I'm sure you get the emails that I get that say, hey, we'll pay somebody to watch your video 1,000 times. And I'm like, well, that's clearly going to be a bot, or someone to like your tweets 1,000 times. Obviously, you're paying for bots and whatnot. So they're absolutely out there, and you can weaponize them and stuff. But they're really going after Zack Snyder hard, kind of saying that he was at the forefront of this. This is what they said next. Rolling Stone spoke with more than 20 people involved with both the original Justice League and Snyder Cut, most of whom believe that the director was working to manipulate the ongoing campaign. Snyder claims that if anyone was pulling strings on the social media fervor, it was Warner Brothers trying to leverage my fan base to bolster subscribers to their new streaming service. But one source maintains Zack was like a Lex Luthor wreaking havoc. Man, they really are trying to paint him as the real bad guy, like this big mastermind villain here.
But this is the only thing that I don't like about Forbes and magazines like this. Okay, you have sources. You say these sources. Can you please say these sources? That's all I'm asking. This could be right and it could be wrong. But if you actually gave me a name, the person that gave you this source, then I will feel that this is a little bit more legit. But I can say right now, my sources say that the Snyderverse is dropping next year. You see how easy that is? This mysterious source, like Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, gave me this information or gave them that information that Zack Snyder had 1 million bots out there. Can we just have a source? That's all I'm
Well, I don't think anybody in Warner Brothers would be able to really confirm that. Obviously, they commissioned a couple of things, but a lot of times the reason that you need an anonymous source is because they're active within the company or the organization that you're trying to get information on. And if you did out their name and they were speaking on something that they were told not to, there would be reprisals involved. They might get fined. They could be fired. They might be moved off the best projects onto something that's more low key. So I understand trying to protect the anonymity of people, but coming out at this time, it looks like they're really just trying to go after Zack Snyder and his credibility and saying maybe that the Snyder Cut movement wasn't so organic after all, that he was kind of manipulating it. And obviously there was a lot of bots involved to kind of, marginalize the impact that it had. Obviously they ended up coming out with the Snyder Cut film and released it on the streaming platform. But I guess they don't want to work with Zack Snyder anymore.
I read that article. I read it from top to bottom. And this is what I don't understand. They literally said the website for Snyder Cut, which is the website that actually started the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. They said that Zack Snyder started that website, put a bunch of bots into there, and then put a bunch of bots into the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. So the fan base will go big enough so they can start attacking Warner Brothers and he can get his movie. I don't believe that. How did he know that it will work out that way precisely? How would he know?
Well, I don't know, but I do imagine that he probably did spend some money to get like a social media organizer or something to get some people talking about the things that he wants to. That's what people do.
That's what they do.
Publicity. Yes,
that's That's what they do. But when I look at the you can go back and look at the AFSP donations that they did. They raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. These campaigns for Zack Snyder to what happened to his daughter. I just can't see that those are bots sending hundreds of $1,000s just to make this man look good and to make it to where he will get his movie. I just don't see it. Now, on the flip side of things, if he was doing bots, I really don't care because, like you said,
I don't think he was doing bots. I think they're saying that he was hiring people who used bots on his behalf.
That's what movie companies do. Like I'm double-sided on this one. Movie companies do that. People do that. They make the numbers
but they
look
also
good.
kind of contradict themselves, and they're talking about, well, he did have a lot of people, and a lot of those people were real. I mean, were you manipulated by a bot, or were you manipulated into supporting Zack Snyder and the Snyder Cut kind of cult that was out there, Fatal J?
No, I have actually been in Twitter wars with bot accounts, with burner accounts. Like, I figured out this is not a real person that I'm talking to. That's the thing on Twitter. Even Elon Musk said himself, if he ever acquired Twitter, he is going to shut down all the bots accounts. This is not just a Zack Snyder thing. This is something that's really going on Twitter and the internet, where people have thousands of bots. And I don't know if it's to benefit them in their opinions, but me and you both know, if we go on Social Blade and look at some of these YouTubers' channels, you can see bot behavior on some of these YouTube channels.
Absolutely. So this is what they also said. The report states many authors were spreading harmful content talking about people within the Snyder Cut community, about then Warner Brothers chairman Ann Sarnoff, who had called the fan trolling reprehensible in an interview with Variety, with the majority of authors calling her a liar for the claim that there is no Snyder Cut of the movie and called for Warner Media to fire her. These authors also started using the hashtag boycott Warner Brothers. Another internal report found an active subcommunity that was attacking Jeff Johns. But she was lying because there was a Snyder Cut. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that they should have been calling her for her firing, but that kind of like goes right in the face with this. And they also end up dragging Ray Fisher into this, kind of saying that Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder were like colluding behind the scenes to boost each other up as they were having issues with the studio. And I thought that was kind of distasteful. There's actually no proof that either of them did that.
I'm glad you said that. It's literally no proof. When you read this article, how can anybody prove this? There's no proof.
Yeah, it's just a lot of speculation, really trying to, slander Zack Snyder himself. I think we can all say that at this point in time, and I don't expect this to change at any point, the Snyderverse is dead within DCEU. It's clear that Warner Brothers Discovery does not want to be in the Zack Snyder business anymore.
I'm not going to say all that. I think you're speaking too fast. I remember a lot of people when
they're putting out hit pieces and they're working with Rolling Stones to disparage his name.
They was doing hit pieces before the Snyder Cut came, and during the Snyder Cut, they was talking about the Snyder Cut is bad and stupid and all this stuff. This man have literally, ever since he been in the DCEU, have been attacked and slandered just because people didn't like his movie. Now, I can understand.
They were terrible, Fatal J. They got a point there.
I can understand that. Look at J.J. Abrams. I can't stand anything he produces, but I'm not going to take the time to write articles and all this crap just to slander a man because I don't like his films.
I don't know, man. You made a lot of videos about Lord of the Rings and Amazon, and their show hasn't even come out, Fatal J.
But this is the thing. I'm not slandering the people. I'm slandering the actual things they're doing to the content.
Well, I never slandered Zack Snyder. I just said his movies were bad, and he's a better music video director than a movie director.
That's what I'm saying. But you're proving my point. You never did slander. You're just talking about how you don't like the slow-mo. You don't like all this and all that. That's perfect. You're critiquing the product. These people are actually slandering a person. And they continue to slander the person. Why I don't know. Maybe Zack Snyder slept with one of their girlfriends. I don't know. But they can't let this man go. They can't let it go. He's over there at Netflix. All he's trying to do is still sell his movie that he did at Warner, and they slandering him. It's perfect timing that this article came out on the same day of his digital release.
How can we still be hopeful that the Snyderverse is going to come back to the DCEU when it's clear that the two sides just don't like each other at this point.
Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, Superman taught me about hope. And I'm just going to leave it there. That's why I got hope in my heart, because Zack Snyder created a wonderful character. He created a wonderful Superman and taught me about hope. And I have hope that the Snyderverse is still happening. This Heat piece is a lot of people say, well, Fatal J, what are you talking about? All of Warner is gone. The old Warner is gone. No, they're not. It's still a lot of people there. Walter Hamada, he is a big guy that's still there at Warner that doesn't like Zack Snyder. It doesn't surprise me these hit pieces are still coming out.
I thought the Man of Steel was about as hopeful as Requiem for a Dream. Have you ever seen that movie?
That's a good movie.
Not very hopeful. But Zack Snyder did defend himself. He did reply to this article. He said, I am grateful to both the fan community and Warner Brothers for allowing this to happen, talking about the Snyder Cut. To dwell on negativity and rumors serves no one. As an artist, it was fulfilling to be able to finally see my vision realized after such a difficult time in my life, and for it to be so well received. This is what Ray Fisher had to say regarding allegations of collusion between the two. He said, neither myself nor anyone on my team ever declined to comment to the Rolling Stones article. Furthermore, this type of rumor mill reporting is offensive, dangerous, and willfully evasive of fact. Zack Snyder and Ray Fisher do take umbrage to this, and I don't blame them, because it's just kind of mean-spirited. They're trying to say, at least insinuate, and if not out bold out, say that these guys were manipulating people and that people weren't really excited for the Snyder Cut.
Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder, they handled it well. They responded it well. One thing that I noticed about Zack Snyder, I've never seen him, as many people attack him all the time, try to slander his name. I've never seen him fight back.
Well, so they say in the article that when he was getting pushback about getting Jeff Johns and Berg's name removed as producers on the film, that if they didn't remove it, he was going to sick like his social media presence on. So it sounded like he was actively fighting back.
Well, that don't sound bad, because if you look at the allegations of Josh Whedon, it's multiple people have said this man is crap ever since the early 2000s, if not the early 90s. So maybe he did want to defend himself. Josh Whedon is not a good guy.
Well, he wasn't defending himself at that point. That was like kind of threatening that I will use the power of the Snyder Cut community to attack you if you don't do what I tell you. And my wife asked, I guess his wife was asking for the same thing.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Is that better than beating him down? Would you just straight beat him down, or would you use your presence on social media to destroy somebody? I think that's nice to destroy somebody on social media. At least you're not putting your hands on them and beating them down.
Well, in this day and age, that could be worse, is to kill somebody's reputation. You'd rather take a beating.
That's worse than beating somebody down. You're right. Words are stronger than a fist or a kick to the stomach. You're definitely right about that.
While there may be some truth in this, almost all of it's unsubstantiated. With a lot of the bot activity, to say that it was Zack Snyder behind it is absolutely ridiculous. There's no actual evidence of that occurred.
No evidence.
He certainly has been in touch with people in the Snyder Cut movement. You would expect that, as they talk about, where is it at and what's happening and stuff like that. But I don't know. This felt like it was unnecessary and went a little bit too far. Fatal J, do you have any final words about Zack Snyder and your favorite shared comic book movie universe?
You can't trust magazines like Rolling Stones and all this type of stuff. It's clickbait. That's all it is. Just like YouTube videos with certain people, it's clickbait. It's to get you there. They knew that the digital release was coming out. They was waiting on the perfect time to put out this article. Ride that traffic. That's what these clickbait websites and magazines do. They ride the traffic. Just like when Release the Snyder Cut was at its peak, when people was trending. It was people on the opposite side trying to ride that wave, and they made hundreds, if not thousands of dollars off of it. So, hey, it is what it is. Zack Snyder is doing great. I really believe Rebel Moon is going to be the next big thing to come out on Netflix. If Justice League 2 come out, great. If Justice League 2 don't come out, all right, it's okay. It's okay with me. I would like to see a Snyderverse happen, but if it doesn't happen, it's okay. But I do want to see it happen, though.
Fatal J and I definitely fundamentally disagree about the quality of the Snyderverse within the DCEU itself. I think it's a travesty. Fatal J thinks that, it's a masterpiece. And we did have a nice conversation about why the Snyderverse absolutely sucks. I think I won this debate, but definitely go check it out for yourselves as I basically make Fatal J look like a fool.